Today I'm going to show you how to get more leads through your real estate website through blogging. Now, in my example today, I happen to have a WordPress real estate agent website that I'm going to be working on. And whatever website you have, whatever platform you have, blogging is important. It may just work a little bit differently. So I'm going to show you today on the WordPress platform, and you'll have to tweak it a little bit for whatever platform you're using, okay? So I'm going to go up here to new and I'm going to click post. Now, a lot of people ask me what is the difference between a blog page and a post. Technically, they're both pages, okay? They're both pages on your website once you publish them. But there is a little bit of a difference in the hierarchy and in the tagging and categories and whatnot. Now, my practice is I generally put my blogs, these are just going to be my daily updates and articles and special events and things like that. I generally make those posts. My pages are more of my cornerstone content, things that either are going to update dynamically. I'm not going to have to go back in there and update them. For example, my listings, my real estate listings through my IDX provider, those are pages. They're dynamically created. They're going to update automatically through those IDX widgets. They're evergreen content. They're going to live forever. I don't have to make changes to them. Where posts can oftentimes be time sensitive, and those are going to be, they could be permanent, but they might also be temporary, time sensitive type of post. Now, pages, I generally will put my pages under a parent page, so kind of like a parent-child relationship or sub-pages, and my posts all go under a category, okay? So my pages typically go under a parent page of some sort. So for example, maybe I just now took a walk and I walked through the neighborhood and I'm in the Vistas subdivision, okay, or the Vistas village in my area. And the Vistas is inside a community called Summerlin. So the Vistas, if I'm building a page all about homes for sale in the Vistas and information about the Vistas village, it's going to be a sub-page or a child page of Summerlin. And Summerlin is going to be a child page of Las Vegas. And Las Vegas is going to be a child page of Nevada. And Nevada is going to be a child page of Clark County. Okay, kind of get an idea? Where my blogs have categories that are more subject-based, okay? So we're going to write a blog today called How to Sell a House. And I've already got an article here, so I'm just going to go ahead and paste this in. Now, in your case, we're going to pretend that you wrote this, all right? Now, this blog post happens to be 1,155 words long as it is, and it'll probably get a little bit longer as I add in tables or calls to action, things like that, which you're going to see in this video. Typically, if you're trying to rank on the search engines, you want your content to be long form. And long form is generally going to be thousands of words long. And one of the reasons why Google rewards this long form content is purely because there's more information on the page. It's not about the words on the page as much as it is about the content and the value of the page. The more you can give a reader, the more you can cover a topic in depth, the better Google is to rank you. So it's not about stuffing in content or stuffing in keywords or just trying to add words on the page. It has to be topical and it has to be in-depth content where you're really diving in. Now, this particular blog post is only 1,155 words long, and I actually have another one on the home selling process in Las Vegas that is probably 5,000 words long. I could easily drill down further into this one. But this one's just kind of a weekly little update here. You know, it's how to sell your house in the spring or something like that. We're going to put out instead of this being a staple, it's going to live all year long. This is just one of our articles, okay? So how to sell a house. All right. I'm going to include some SEO best practices in here while I'm talking to you guys, all right, with your permission. All right, so let's do how to sell a house in Las Vegas. Actually, yeah, that's fine. All right. Now, just so that you know, you're going to ask, do I have to include that word Las Vegas to rank in Las Vegas? Absolutely not, especially not in 2017. Google does understand geography, and the better you have set up your local SEO and your local citations is going to benefit you as well. But when you have, if somebody is in Phoenix, Arizona, and they type in how to sell a house without typing in Phoenix, Google's going to know that that person is in Phoenix, and it's likely to return results that were originated on Phoenix-based websites and information about Phoenix. So it's not necessary, okay? I would say if you haven't done it yet and you're trying to rank for your city and location, it might be a best practice to include that in some of them, but it's definitely not necessary to include them. So you can have how to sell a house, and in this case, I'll do how to sell a house in Las Vegas. Now, your permalink, this is going to be the URL. This is going to be the .com that people click on to find this particular page. Each page and each post on your website, like I said, a post is technically a web page too, is going to have its own unique URL. And how it works is this. See this here, this ballenvegas.com? That's the main domain. Everything that comes after that slash, that's the slug. And what's important to know is that Google no longer rewards exact match domain names as it once did. So if this permalink was how to sell a house in Las Vegas.com, that exact match keyword domain doesn't necessarily rank any better today in 2017 than it would have. That being said, keywords in the slug still have some relevance. So what comes after that domain, that top level domain, after that, there's still some relevance here to the keywords. So let's just say your keyword phrase is going to be how to sell a house. Okay, so you're gonna put how I don't even know if I need the how, sell a house. Okay, shorter is typically better that we find for click-through rates. It doesn't necessarily it's not necessarily part of Google's algorithm and how it ranks, but it can help your click-through rate. So you want to watch that slug and have it not be too lengthy. But I could have how to sell a house, how to sell house, how sell house. That's all fine. Those prepositions and whatnot aren't necessary in the slug anyway. Okay. So anyway, let's just go ahead and leave it like that. We're going to put okay. All right. Our keyword phrase, as we said, is how to sell a house. So here in the top 100 words, it is an SEO, search engine optimization, best practice to include your keyword phrase in the top 100 words. So I'm going to put something like this. You may have sold a home in the past, or you may be selling your first property and are wondering how to sell a house in Las Vegas. Okay, so in the top 100 words, our keyword phrase, how to sell a house, see it? That's our keyword phrase, is in that top 100 keywords. Also, if you'll notice, as I'm typing in my blog, I changed the word from home and house and property instead of saying the same word over and over again. Old school search engine optimization taught us to repeat that keyword phrase exactly as many times as we possibly could. In 2017, that type of SEO is no longer valid, nor does it work. Today, what we're looking for, what Google's looking for, is semantic search. So these will be synonyms. These will be words like others. These will be, on these particular blog posts about selling a home, we also saw the keyword, home values and listings and market report and properties. They're going to look for these similar types of keywords. So it's better actually to say things in several different ways than it is to repeat the same keyword phrase over and over and over again. It's simply not necessary. You can rank on Google on a blog post for a particular keyword phrase that you never even put on the page, because Google now reads topic. It understands topic. It understands the content without you stuffing in all those keywords. So it will be able to deduce that this is what this blog post is about. And so you don't need those types of things. So again, best practices. Also, it's a good practice to have one H1 on the page, one heading H1 tag on the page. In my case, in my particular theme, my title actually jumps down and is put in bold in an H1 tag. Let me show you an example. I'm going to click preview. Okay, see that title? So my theme already takes that down and puts that in a heading tag. If your theme doesn't, you're going to want to put that in there. And how you would do that is you would put how to sell a house in Las Vegas, and then simply highlight it, drop down this little box and choose heading 1, and it makes it bold. The other way you can do it is click on this little text tab. Right now we're in the WYSIWYG editor, the visual tab. What you see is what you get, WYSIWYG. And we're going to click over here to code, which is your text tab. And all you have to do is put in these little brackets and put H2 on both ends. Or H1, I'm sorry, this is an H1 tag. H1, heading 1. And it makes it a heading. Now, if you're asking what's the difference between H1, H2, H3, you can see it visibly right here. See, your H1 is larger, and then your H2, and then your H3, and then your H4. And this is kind of the general rule for how we use them when creating our blog posts. Your main heading will be the topic of the entire piece, and then your secondary headings might be the top of your paragraphs. And then you might have a heading 3 if it's a sub-paragraph of a paragraph, or a little commentary or something like that. In our case, I'm going to get rid of this because I don't need that. So let me make sure those H2s are gone, H1's gone. Okay, so in my case, my headings of my paragraph are going to be my H2 tags. So here's a heading. This is also a best practice in blogging of 2017. You have to keep in mind that more than half of people today are on mobile, and this is definitely true with Google's results. Over half of their searchers are on mobile. And you want to break up that big chunky text with things like headings, images, videos, calls to action. I don't know if I said images, pricing tables, IDX, things like that. So we're going to break this up so that it's not all just boring, chunky text, okay? Writing the content is only the first half. It's really half. The other half is making sure that the blog post is optimized for the search engines, that you've got calls to action in here for social shares, that you have made it visually, aesthetically pleasing, that you've got your images and that type of thing. So there's a lot to do on the second half after you've actually written the blog. You can buy the blog content in most cases. I do own a marketing company. My marketing company is called Ballen Brands. You can find us at ballenbrands.com, and we have expert writers on staff that write content, and you can order those as a one-time order, or you can actually subscribe to recurring content. And we also build real estate websites just like this one. So if you don't already have a great real estate agent website that you own and can build unlimited blogs on, give us a call over there at Ballen Brands, and let's get you your brew. That stands for Ballen Real Estate Website. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go in and put some images in here, okay? Now, in my case, I use, actually, let me get you the link directly for this. You can use my link. I don't know, some of these tools that I talk about, my link will get you a extended free trial or a discount or something like that, and some of them don't. They're just links, and they might buy me a cup of coffee or something because of the affiliate relationship. But I would love you to check out my links first. So Shutterstock, right here, Shutterstock. You can find all my links at loristools.com. loristools.com. Right here is the Shutterstock link, okay? So when you click on that, you'll be able to get into Shutterstock here. I'm going to go ahead and log in. Oh, it looks like I'm already logged in. Okay, now I will tell you that Shutterstock is not super cheap. These are copyright-free images, and you're either going to pay per image or you are going to have to subscribe, have some sort of subscription. If you order your content from us, we can include images as well, so just make sure you let us know what you need, or let us know that you need images in your blogs when you post them. So let's just start off with our first thing here. In our first section, let's close that preview. Our first section is get a valuation from an agent. When you sell your home, your mortgage will need to be paid off entirely by the loan proceeds, or you'll need to pay the additional principal balance out of your own pocket. Okay, so it's basically talking about, find out what your home might sell for to make sure that you can sell it. Okay, so we're looking at home values. So you would type something in here like home values. And all right, so this one's, let's just say, you can stick within a similar theme with certain filters, or you can use different styles. Ooh, I like that one. I'm going to go with this one today. I haven't used that one yet. Okay, so I'm going to go with a small. I always download in small. Download property value. Okay, so now I'm going to go right here, add media, upload file, select file, property value, open. And this is how you'll do it the same way every time. Okay, now this is I'm going to add in some search engine optimization best practices here. So the alt text describes is another title for the image, and then you have a description. So this is going to be property value written on a house chalkboard. And then here I'll put stack of coins, and I can't tell if that's 100. I'll just put and money bills shown with house shaped chalkboard that reads property value. Now what we're doing here is we are describing that image, and when somebody hovers over that image, if they are visually impaired, they will be able to receive a description on what that image is. And in the old days, we used to stuff keywords into that alt text, and we no longer do that anymore. If there's a keyword in there naturally, great, but it doesn't need to be stuffed in there so that it's artificially, does not look natural. Now, if you have a home value offer on your website, you can actually put a link on that image. So in my case, I'm going to do this. We're going to go to ballenvegas.com, and I'm going to go to house values. Now, please do not go to my website and use this home value calculator and to get an estimate on your house or to try it out, because it'll skew my numbers. Instead, head on over to listings2leads.com/BALLEN, all lowercase, listings2leads.com/Ballen. What you'll be able to do is go ahead and sign up for this service, get a free trial. When you use my link, I think it's a 30-day trial instead of a 15-day trial, and you can try the home value calculator right here and see all how it works, okay? So check that out. So here's mine. So I'm going to take this link up here. I'm just going to highlight that URL, and I am going to paste it right here, and I'm going to insert it into the post. Now, if you forget to do all that when you upload the image, or let's say you're pulling from an image that's already in the library and you want to change a couple things on it, all you have to do is go to here and click edit, and you can do it all from this section as well, okay? Now a caption is going to show up underneath. Click to use the 15-second instant home value calculator. Click image. Okay, now watch. So I'll click update. So there's your caption. So your caption actually will show on the screen. So be careful. Be careful about that because it'll actually show. Now, if I want this to be a live link, now the image already is a live link, but if I want this to be a live link, all I have to do is click on this little link up here, paste in the home value estimator, and click the little blue arrow. And now it's actually a live link there, okay? These are called calls to action. And a call to action is basically saying, do this, okay? And then you're usually giving them some sort of exchange for that call to action. Do this to get this. So click here to get your instant home value calculator. These calls to action are very, very important today. And you need to have them all over your blog posts and web pages so that if the user doesn't immediately get attracted to the content on the blog post, the call to action might actually invite them in and they might click through and actually register, or they might click through and at least that'll give you more user interaction on your page, which can help you rank better on the search engines. Okay, so that's important. All right, I'm only going to show you one of each step rather than doing the whole post. I would say a good rule of thumb is allow yourself probably I can't say because it depends on how your writing skills are. But 1,000-word blog post could take you 2 or 3 hours to write. If there's research involved, it could take you a day or a weekend to write. It just depends on how passionate you are and if you're writing off of things in your mind or if you're writing off of doing research and you need data. But then give yourself an hour afterwards to add your images and your links and your tables and your calls to action and to optimize the blog post, okay? So if you're going to be doing, one of these a week, I would say time block a full day of that blog post or an afternoon or morning if you're pretty fast with your writing your content, or if you're buying your content, then you only need to have an hour of actually getting it optimized, okay? So next, so I showed you how to do a call to action and I showed you how to do an image, and now I've showed you how to do your heading tags. It's also a good idea to include internal links in your blog post. And these internal links are going to, we're going to highlight a set of words and we're going to include a link that goes to another page on your own website that the user might want to find more information about, okay? So for example, we've got this information here, get a valuation from an agent, okay? And here we say, get valuation quotes from several real estate agents. So let's highlight that, and we're gonna link that to a page on a blog post, sorry, on our website about choosing a real estate agent. So let's see, choose real estate agent. What I'm doing here is I'm typing in keywords, and then these are pages or posts that are already on my website, okay? Let's see, real estate agent. So I don't always remember what they're called, so sometimes I have to do the keywords. Okay, so how to sell a house with a real estate agent. Making time with your real estate agent more efficient, 12 questions to ask when interviewing a real estate agent. If you're already ranking for one particular blog post, I would drive as much traffic as I could to that one blog post, help push that one up, as long as it's relative and has information that is relative to this set of keyword phrases. And again, we don't want this to be an exact match for the keyword the other page is optimized for. So if the other page is optimized for how to choose a real estate agent, this is great. Get valuation quotes from several different real estate agents. It's not an exact match. It's another set of keywords there, but it's not the exact same thing. Okay, so that's what we want to see. All right. Here we could put these valuations, and maybe I want to take them to that home value calculator again. So I'll type in value, Las Vegas house value estimator. You see that? How it includes that link, okay? I'll usually do 1 or 2 per paragraph, depending on how many paragraphs, and not always if there isn't anything relative. I don't stuff it in there just to stuff it in there, but here's an example. Staging a home. So I'm going to highlight that. I know I have a blog post already all about staging a home. So I'm going to start typing in staging. I know it's staging a house for all senses. There it is. Okay. And I'm going to click the little blue arrow. Okay. See it there? And also linking out to an external website that is not your own, that is a relative authoritative website having to do with what you're typing in, is also positive SEO. There's a lot of people out there that'll tell you don't link out to somebody else's website because the page rank, the Google juice flows out to them. Although there's a little bit of that's true, that page rank flows out, it's actually a positive ranking signal in the eyes of Google. It's a positive sign that you are, contributing locally and authoritatively to, you're referring to another authoritative website. And they don't always have to be fantastic websites either. If I was writing a blog post on horse property and I want to link out to the store down the street that has hay, but it doesn't have a high page rank or high authority, it's still okay to rank out to them. I'm just not going to do dozens of those on the same page. Sorry about that. Taking a sip of water. Okay, so let's talk about where we might do that. Review your finances, make repairs, okay? So here, staging the home, list your home to sell, review offers. I'm trying to think of what might be relative. So here, after you determine a reasonable list price, you should examine your current outstanding loan balance for your home. Okay, so I might just kind of go over to Google here and type in, something like mortgage rates, or that's probably not the best one. Let's do make repairs, and let me type in making home repairs. Okay, here's a great one. So this one will link out to USA.gov, and it has all of this information on making home repairs. And you'll have to look and see how this applies or doesn't apply. I always take a look at the article, make sure I'm sending them where I want to send them. But let's just say I'm going to do that. And you can even reference an article. So you could say something like, this is just an example. I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to go back here, and maybe I'll make this a quote. And so I can make this a quote by going up here. I can either put in the quote symbols here, or I can use my plugin Ultimate Shortcode, and I'm going to put insert shortcode. Actually, I can't remember, this is shortcode. I think it's called Shortcodes Ultimate. Shortcodes Ultimate. All right, and I'm going to type in a quote. So I'm going to do a quote, and it's going to open these little boxes, and I'm going to put the site in there just a second. Let me paste in the quote. Okay, and then the site URL is here. This is the proper way to use an excerpt from a website, is here. What I'm doing, you take the quote, and then you're going to give them a link back, directly to that page, and you're going to say what the site name is. And in this case, it's USA.gov, so I'm going to put that in here. The site is USA.gov, and there's the site URL, and here's the content. And now here's the live preview of what it's going to look like. You see that? Isn't that nice? And then I'm going to insert that short code right there. Okay, now it looks like gibberish, but when I show you the blog, it's going to show up just fine. Okay, and in fact, I'll go ahead and show it to you. So I'll go up here to preview. Now, when you hit preview, you're just looking at the blog. You're not publishing it. Okay, so how to sell a house. There's our image. There's our calls to action, and here's that little quote. You see how nice this looks? You see how putting these little things in there breaks it up and makes it more digestible. It's easier to read. Okay, another thing I might do is put in a video. It's another very, very popular thing with the search engines too, is adding these supporting media. And so here I'm going to go over to YouTube. And now if I have one of my own videos, great. If I don't, I'm going to use one that's got a public sharing license. So I'll go up here and I'll type in staging a home. Now I'm not going to choose another real estate agent. I'm going to choose something like a Better Homes, some kind of TV show or news or something like that. This one might work because this one is a tile company. Okay. All right, realtor.com. That'll work. So I'm going to go to this one.
There's no simpler way to increase what people will pay for your home than to stage it carefully. Now, feel like one extension of the
Okay, just be careful with that because you saw at the beginning there was an agent there. If he's local to your area, you might not want to use this particular video. In my case, he's not, so it's no big deal. So I'm going to go to share. Now, here's what I want you to watch what happens. Most people take this share link and they go over here and they throw it into their page. Let's put it here, staging the home. And what'll happen is it puts the video in there, okay? Now here's the bad news. You weren't able to change any of the defaults, which I'm going to show you in a second, and it doesn't change the size of the video, okay, which you might want to do. So here instead, what I do, go over here, and you click on embed. Instead of the share, we're going to go to embed. Click on show more, and choose the size you want. This is the size. Then you can, these by default are checked. So here's what you want to watch out for. It's going to show suggested videos when the video finishes. Those will not be your videos. Those will be somebody else's. So be careful about that. I'm going to uncheck that. Show player controls. Yes, I want them to be able to play or pause. I'm going to leave that in there. Show video title and player actions. I'm going to uncheck that and enable privacy enhanced mode. Don't know. I am not going to worry about that one. And then I'm going to take this link, this little iframe. I'm going to go back to my page. Now, I'm going to see where I want to put the video. So in my case, I want to put it up here after staging the home. So I'm going to put a little shortcut in there for me. Actually, I'll put it underneath. And I'm going to put video here so that I can see it. And I'm going to go over here. Now all I have to do to find where that was, click Command F if you're on a Mac, or I think it's Control F on a PC, and this little search box will open, and just type in put video, and then it'll drop down to your spot. Okay. Now I'm going to paste in that iframe. I'm going to go back to visual. See the difference? There it is. Okay, so it doesn't have that ugly title up here. It's not going to play similar videos. It's the right size. Okay. Got everything I want in there. All right. Now, I'm not going to get into schema markup. I do mark up my articles, but I have another video on that. If you're at that level, go check out my other video on rich snippets and schema markup. I do want to show you this. Depending on your WordPress theme, you may have the option to add a sidebar, a right sidebar, a left sidebar, or keep it a wide theme. On my blog posts, I like to have the sidebar, because on a desktop, it kind of cleans it up. Let me show you. So here's what it looks like with just by default. This is wide. Close some of these. So we'll speed up there. There we go. Okay, so this is the wide theme. Now, this is what it's going to look like on mobile. Just stay with me on the left here. This is what it's going to look like on mobile. You see that? You see how that changes everything? And see how beautiful things like those quotes that break it up and the video break it up, okay? But on a desktop, it doesn't, I don't know. There's something about the wide theme on a blog I don't like as much. So if you want to add the right-hand column to kind of clean that up a little bit, just click here. It'll add the sidebar. Let me click preview. See that? Now, remember, on mobile, you're not going to see this sidebar anyway. It will push that down to a menu below the blog post, depending on your theme, or it'll make it a sub-menu up at the top. But it does clean it up on a desktop, and that's really what I like, too. I will get some clicks on the right-hand side on a desktop, but I'm not really putting them there for that particular purpose. It's more of giving them, just kind of cleaning this blog post up here, okay? I think that's the majority of what I wanted to show you today. When I do a buyer blog, I'll show you how to put in pricing tables and IDX as well. This is primarily for the seller. And I would always end off your blog post also with a call to action. So at the end here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put in my ultimate short code, and I'm going to add let's add a button. Okay, and here it is. It's already in here for me, defaulted. So house value calculator. The color is going to be blue. I can change what size I want the button to be. And watch what happens when I put in this little button. Now let's go ahead and preview it. I'll make you another video on how to use some of those short codes, so I can keep this on topic today. But that short code ultimate is really cool because it's free, and that makes it really cool. And you can add all kinds of little notes and highlights and boxes. But here's your button. Okay, so it's jogging a little bit over my icon, so I'd have to fix that. But get your 15-second home value estimate. That's a really clean, nice button, and it'll open on the right-hand side there. All I have to do in my case, what I need to do is shrink that button down. Let's try size 8 and preview it again. So instead of making the whole button over again, all I had to do is go into that little code and just change the number, and it makes it a bit smaller. So I would have to just play with that to get it over, to make sure it's not running into my little icons there. Okay, so I've got a call to action at the top. I have internal links encouraging engagement in the middle. I've got an external website. I should have had that open in a new window, and I don't know that I set that. But if I didn't do that when you saw me do this, I would have that open in it does. So that your website's still open, and it just opens in a new tab there or in a new window. And that's basically what I wanted to show you today. Check us out at ballenbrands.com for your real estate website and marketing, pay-per-click services. If you need help with your real estate marketing, we're the company for you. And I'm in Las Vegas. My name is Lori Ballen with Ballen Homes. If you have a real estate referral, my team and I here would really, really appreciate it. We also serve Henderson, North Las Vegas, and up into Reno, Nevada as well. And we would appreciate your referrals. Thank you so much for joining me today.